Hi everyone. Welcome to today's office hour. Okay. Pardon me that we're starting a little behind schedule. Um, I had to make sure the people that had an office hour for the last hour, they were done with theirs before we start ours. Okay. So today I looked at the form and I didn't see any question. Okay, if you can just hear me, just please put on the live chat. I want to know, make sure that we're all following. Okay, so today there's really no question in the office form. I can't see any question. Okay, so we would go through some of the materials that we have. Okay. We'll go through some of the materials that we have. Okay, I just want to be sure that we are live. Okay, so can you guys hear me? I just want to get a response on the live chat box so that we can proceed. Okay. While I wait your response, I'll just continue, and we'll go back to that material we were going through. Okay, very rich material, like we all know. So we will go through the material again and see what we can do for today. Okay, I'm looking for the material. Once I get the material, I will share my screen. Okay, I think I have it here. And just for the reason that just because you guys don't have any questions, I want to believe everything is going on smoothly. I want to believe that you're understanding the courses, you are flowing with everything, everything is not making sense, especially when it comes to JavaScript. Okay, don't stop at just watching the videos, don't stop at the materials. You can still go online to check up one or two things that can be of help to you. Okay, that can be of help to you. So I would share my screen now so that we can proceed. Okay, so we can proceed. Okay, so this is the material we're going through, and we basically covered the conditionals the last time, so we're just going to arrays and loops. Okay, this is an overview of what arrays and loops looks like and what they are, what they do, how they can be written, that kind of thing. Just an overview of arrays and loops. Okay, thank you. 120. 125 is cool. Okay. So basically let's go through the pre-lecture quiz first, and as usual. Okay, so to refer to a specific item in an array, you would use what? Okay. I would like to get your answer on the chat box. To refer to a specific item in an array, you would use what? The answer is index though. How do you get the number of items in an array? I'd like to get your answers in the chat box. How do you get the number of items in an array? You can just put 1, 2, 3. So if it's 1, just put number 1. If it's 2, put 2. If it's 3, put 3. Instead of typing all these everything together. Okay. The answer is actually the length property. In JavaScript, indexes start at what? Okay. You can just, if the answer is 0, put 0. If the answer is 1, put 1. If the answer is 2, put 2. Okay. So the answer is 0. And congratulations, you completed the quiz. Yay! Okay. So we'll just go for that. So the question arrays. Okay. Basically, arrays and loops come to play when you want to manipulate data. Okay. They used to manipulate data to just to make use of data to solve a particular problem. You know, manipulating data to solve a particular problem or to, yeah, basically. Okay, working with data is common task for any language, and it's much easier when data is organized in a structural format such as arrays. With arrays, data is stored in a structure similar to a list. One major benefit of arrays is that you can store different types of data in one array. Okay, so what it's trying to say here is when you say we can store different types of data in one array, I want us to just, there are some things that we'll just go through, and then we would try to do the practicals so that we can be able to see what they're talking about if what they're saying is true, basically. Okay, so that's one of the ways we can. I would just do away with all these. I think someone had asked the question. That was as when we ended the call. Okay, that what can we do to? I think someone asked a question about this. What can we do to this for it to be equal? The thing, what we can just do is either you make this a number by removing the double quotes, or make this a string by including the double quotes. Okay, that's one of the ways we can make this true by the time we do this street equality. Okay, add this street equality sign. But let's do away with this. So I'll just go back to what we read, and it says with one major benefit of arrays is that you can store different types of data in one array. Let's give it a test. So we have an array of will I say pastries? Okay, an array of pastries, and okay, and let us say, okay, we have pizza, Yeah. We have shawarma. Yeah. We have donuts. Yeah. We have cake. Yeah. We have hot dog. Yeah. And let's say we want to, since they say it can store different notes. This whatever I've written here now is not, they are not strings. Okay, very important for us to note. Let us say the number 4. Let's add the number 4, and let's make each and every one of these entries. Let's make them strings. Okay, let's make them strings. Okay, and then let's console.log. So console.log and then console.log pastries. Okay. And let's see how this. Okay. So basically, that means what was said here is true. It does happen like that. So we added string and numbers and it worked. Let's go crazy and just put false. Um, no, and let's try. Okay, so it works. False, null, these are all data types. So we basically used different data types, and this statement came out true. And it's are all around us. Can you think of? Okay, so we have a simple which we've done something like this. Okay, best practice is that you just put this semicolon after each statement in JavaScript. Best practice. Okay, it doesn't really mean in JavaScript, but so that someone within your codes can know that, okay, this is where this code ends, this statement ends, and the next statement begins. Okay. Since we have things like, okay, like this one now, it's occupying two lines. Okay, it's occupying two lines of code. It's one statement, but occupying two lines. Okay, so that someone can just know that, okay, this is where it ends. So we would go to, okay, so the value of arrays are called indexes. Index. So basically, each of these pizza, shawarma is an index. Okay, the elements of the array though. Okay, but you can access them using index. Okay, so okay, let's do something. So arrays are named from 0. You start counting arrays or elements of an array from 0. Okay, so it's not one, it is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if I want to get donuts, basically I will put donut as, instead of saying 1, 2, 3, it's going to be 0, 1, 2. So let us console.log the index 2. Okay, I want to get the number 2, the element that occupies index 2 of the array pastries, or the pastries array, basically. So let's try running it. So it gives us donuts. If I put 0 here, it gives us pizza. Nice. Okay, if I do let's try and see. Let's see if I put 8, what it will give us, undefined. Basically, it does not exist. Okay, it does not exist. That's why. So I will just go to, I think 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 5 elements. But in terms of numbering, array numbering, there are 4, that 5 elements, but 4 indexes. Okay. So I will put 4 here. Okay. Continue. Okay, so there are different methods we use to get that you can use to work with arrays. Different methods that we have. Okay, I would like to just go to Google and just one of array methods in JavaScript, and let's see what it gives us. So I'm not using my Mozilla Firefox browser. I'm using my Microsoft Edge browser. So those that extension that I installed in my Mozilla Firefox browser, that gives me code snippets, at the beginning of every search. It's not here. It's not here. It's not connected to my Microsoft Edge browser. Okay, so we have some items here. Let's go into this and let's see. Oh, okay. So we have, okay. So we are introduced to, from this document, we are introduced to another new way of creating arrays. So this is the one that we did. Instead of using the const keyword, we use the let keyword to create the array. But now as they're saying, okay, we can also create an array like this. Okay, let's try it out, basically. So instead of this, I would copy this and comment it out. Okay, because I would like to make a copy of it, and instead of this, I'll put this, and add new array. Okay, so it works. Or we can just say pastries. Okay, so it works. It gives us an array. So note, the first one we did had to do with brackets, the not curly braces, but basically using brackets. Okay, while the other one had to do with using this curved brackets. Okay, I think I've forgotten the name right now. but basically the curved brackets. Okay. Yes, Replit is an online text editor that we use. I'm not going to use VS Code now because in our lessons we have not started using VS Code. Okay, we have not started using VS Code. In the videos you've watched, we've not basically started using VS Code. By the time we start using VS Code in the videos, I'll start using VS Code here. Okay, VS Code is here. It's basically massive, but for now we will not be using it. Okay. Okay. Let's const and that. Pardon my slow typing. I'm basically using one hand to type. So, pardon me. Okay. So, these are basically keywords you can use to create variables or yeah, create variables. Um, let and var basically do the same thing. The one that's different here is const. So the short form of the long form of const is constant. Okay, so when you are creating a variable and you wouldn't want that variable to change along the way, okay. Let's try something. Let's pastries 5 equals sorry, let me take 3. Like pastries 3 equals to oh, pastries 3 is equals to well, which other one? Pizza. Um, I would just put bread. Okay, let's just use bread. Okay, so basically, let's try running this. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So here, cake has been. I basically replaced cake with bread, which can be found here. You can see it's showing bread instead of cake. Okay, but let us use the const keyword. So the let keyword will help enables you. You can be able to change. Like now, I basically changed an element of the array that was stored in this variable. So I was able to change the elements of this variable, the value in this variable. I was able to change it. Okay, from cake, one of the values from cake to bread. Okay, but if we use the const keyword, it's supposed to throw an error. So let's try using the const so keyword. It works, but and I do not know why. Maybe because it's an array. Let us try const um d equals to Friday, okay, and then d equals to Saturday. Just to make sure. Okay, it's not supposed to change because constants basically will want this should be d. Okay, So the here we see it. So because it's an array, that's why. But when you are basically storing any variable inside a constant, okay, you can't change it along the way. So we initially stored Friday inside the variable name day using the const keyword, and then later we wanted to change it. It doesn't work that way. But if we change it to let, you will see that it would work. Okay, so Saturday gives us Saturday. If we use var, the same thing, it would work. Okay, so the difference between var, so now we know the difference between const and then let var. Like let and var are on their own group, and const is on his own group. So we don't look at the difference between let and var. Basically, the difference between let and var is nullability. Will I say null and undefined? There are sometimes, okay, there are some expressions you write, and there are some things you would want to do. There are some things you want to do in JavaScript, okay, and normally it's not supposed to run, okay, because during production it won't run, okay. During production it won't run. That is when you're talking about your browser, it will give an error, but then it will run on the console because you are using the var keyword. And that's why in modern JavaScript it's advisable you use the let keyword instead of the var keyword. Let's just say var is version 1.0, let is version 2.0. Is an upgrade. So let is an upgrade to var. Okay, so we will comment this, and then so sorry for that derail. I had to do that because of one of the questions that was on the chat box. Okay, that's why I had to derail and answer that. So we would just continue. Okay. Okay. Another thing that we can do is since we were here, okay, we're already done with this. We wanted to look at some of the methods we can use. Okay. Okay, before we go into methods, to be able to get the length of a particular element in an array, you use the dot length. Note, I did not say length. You use the dot length. Okay, you use the dot length to be able to get the number of uh, elements in that array, or the number of elements in that array. So let us say, for instance, we don't know the number of elements in this array. What we'll do is basically do pastries dot length, okay, and then we get the number of elements in the array, in the array pastries. I'll comment this out in case you want to use it. Okay, and then I want to start in the variable, so I can console.log it. Uh, number of pastries is supposed to pastries dot length. Okay, so note is dot length, not dot length. Okay, so let's run Okay. So it gives 5. But pastries are pastries, pizza, shawarma. But well, it's an example. Your rep isn't loading my. Okay. You may not be doing something wrong, but you would have to uh check on how to load HTML and CSS pages on Replit. Okay, you have to ask Google. Um, I won't tell you the answer because I didn't in the videos where we've encountered. There's nothing like running HTML and CSS pages. Okay, we really do not have any business with HTML and CSS pages at least for now. But what I'll tell you is, okay, you can go to Google and just say how to run HTML and CSS pages on Replit, and then you will get some answers and the follow them one by one. The answers you get before you exhaust all the answers you see, you must have done it. Okay, so okay, so just try. Okay, so before we just go into loops in a jiffy. Okay, in a jiffy, I want us to look at some of the methods we can use. Okay, this is already in the video you watched. One of the resources that's available to you. You have push. This method adds an element to the end of the array. You have if you want to add an element to the beginning of the array, you will need to use the unshift. So there are two methods that adds push and unshift. Unshift adds to the beginning, push adds to the end. Let's take, for instance, we want to add the person's, like there's a guy that likes all these things. Okay, so we want to add his name to the this array. I want to add him, we want to make add his name as the um the beginning of the array, basically. Okay, I'll leave this. Okay, I'll copy this because I want to console.log. So what you do is sorry. Pastries. Okay. So two different things to like on shift. Okay. Um so what item do we want to add to the array? We said his name. Let's say the name of this person is John Bull. Okay. Best parties. Okay. Okay. So I've added John Bull on shift method adds John Bull. Then we now call the number. Initially, this was 5. This was 5. Initially, it was 5. And then it was 5. Okay, it was 5. So 6 and so 7. Okay. Why I'm putting this so that we'll be able to know. So initially it was 5. And then when I used the unshift method to add John Bull, it became 6. And that's why you're seeing 6 here. Okay. We'll be adding another element to this array. Okay. Pastries dot push Okay, so the push method adds to the end of the array. Jumbo was added to the beginning of the array. You use on shift to add to the beginning of the array. And to add to the end of the array, you use the push method. Okay, we use the push method. And let's say we want to add another pastry. Do they call this? They call it snacks though, but let us call it pastries. We've been using pastries, so we'll just continue. So hot dog. Um, meat pie to one it. Okay, so it gives us, it adds, and that the number changes to 7. Okay, so that's very two important methods that we can use to modify string arrays. Okay, we can use them to modify arrays or data in the arrays as we proceed. I would like us to go through two other very important. Okay, we have to copy or clone an array. We use the slice keyword. Okay, I've been saying something like this array is supposed to be a snack, not so I'll just put snack equals to pastries dot slice. So I want to clone it and give it the name snack instead of pastries. Okay. So it gives us the same array. Okay. It gives us the same array as pastries. We basically cloned the pastries array and we stored it inside the snack variable. Okay. Let's go shift on shift. I was hoping to see pop variable. Okay. Yes. The pop and push pop and shift, sorry. So pop, just like so on shift adds to the beginning, push adds to the end. We have two more that almost does the same thing, but instead of adding, they remove. So shift removes from the beginning, pop removes from the end. So we added the jumble and meat pie. So let's do away with jumble and meat pie. Pastries dot pop. So pop meat pie first. We'll just call the pop. I think it will just remove the last one. That's meat pie automatically. Let's go. So that's what it does. It removes meat pie automatically. We start passing an argument inside the pop pop method or pop function. So let's try pastries dot shift. The same thing, the same way we did that, we also do this. Okay, and we run it. Jumbo ought to be out, and we have 5 back to the original 5. Okay, back to the original 5. So there are other methods. You have the length method. array dot is array. Okay. I think we already did this. Okay. And as you go through, you would get to know more that other methods that can be used. Okay. May not be able to exhaust them. Let us go straight. Okay. Loops. Okay, from the look of things, just to not loops is quite, time is already out. We're already run out of time, and loops is quite elaborate. Like it's quite, we have to go into for loop and then while loop and do while loop. Okay, the loops they only use there is while loop and for loop. These are kind of easy loops. Okay, but I'll just give you a foundation of loops. Loops are you basically use when you want to a code to repeat each time an action is done. Okay, if you want a code to, like, okay, let me take for instance, each time a a bank user, a bank account user withdraws money, you want alerts to be sent, SMS alerts to be sent. Each time money comes into the account, you want SMS alerts to be sent. So what the programmer, because everything is programmed, you already know that these things are programmed. It's not as if when somebody sends money to your account, somebody will now go and type it in the computer, send alert SMS to Ruth, or send alert SMS to John Boo. Nobody does that. Okay. It's all programmed. The codes have been written. So these are things that just happen automatically. Okay. So it's loops they use. Okay. For such. So whenever something happens, this should happen. Whenever something happens, this should happen. Okay. And or when you want something to happen periodically, but basically a process that you want to be run with or without your input to run continually, yes, you use loops. Okay, they allow for repetitive or iterative tasks, or you want to go through number of elements and to check something, to check, like when you do um what example like give now, but basically you do it to check if some statements are true. I can have an array of statements, okay, and I want to check if each of the statements are true. I can use loops to do that. Okay, loops will conveniently do it, and it says it can save a lot of time and code. Each iteration can vary in their variables, values, and conditions. There are different types of loops in JavaScript. Like I said, we have for loop, we have while loop, we have do while loop. But for now, we will not just go into these things because I think we have on another section, another track we have on that section the minute after now. That's by 3. So I want to give the person the opportunity to set up before the time. So any questions concerning what we've learned? We just learned arrays. Okay, may not be very exhaustive as you would have hoped, but something. Okay, I know most of these things I said they're already in the materials that I'm basically, we're even going through one of the materials, but I know they were already touched in the video material. Okay, but if you have any questions concerning loops, sorry, concerning arrays. I will take it that there is no question. Okay, and hoping to see you tomorrow. And if we're to have that class, hoping to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow class may be postponed. Okay, but if it is going to be postponed, you will let you'll be informed. Okay, you'll be informed before tomorrow. Okay, or by early morning tomorrow, you'll be informed that it will be postponed. If it's not going to be postponed and to hold, nothing will be said concerning it. Once nothing is said concerning it, no, it will hold. Okay, so thank you so much for attending today's office hour. Uh, Wishing you all the best in your programming journey, in your JavaScript journey, in your Node.js journey. Okay. Okay, you say you want more real life instances in our next class. Okay, how real life do you want me to get? I decided to use the pastries like food, basically, for okay, I understand what you mean. You want me to use something you will encounter while coding. Okay, basically, okay, that will be put into consideration when going through our office as to use more real life situations. Well, when it comes to real life, we're talking about things you will probably use while coding. Okay, um, more often than not. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next class. Take care. Bye.